Now that you've installed Libby, connected it to your library card, and learned how to navigate the interface, let's go through the process of borrowing, requesting, and returning items. So to start, you may want to choose an item that you see on the consortium landing page, or you may want to tap the search icon to search for a particular title. I always use The Girl on the Train as an example because it comes in multiple formats, so I can usually demonstrate multiple items at the same time. So here, Girl on the Train comes up as a suggestion, and these are the results. Couple of things to notice on this screen. The first result on the far left is an audiobook. You know this because the middle option to the right of the cover says play sample, not read sample. And also because right under the cover is a bar that displays the playing time as well as the earbud symbol. So those two things together tell you this is an audio version of the book that will be about 11 hours to play. The middle result is the ebook, and you can tell because it says read sample and there's no earbud symbol next to it. There are some other options that come up in this result, either because they're the same author or there's some data in Libby or Overdrive that makes it think it's a similar result. I also want to show you on this screen in the top left corner, there's preferences. So if you decide that you only want to listen to audiobooks, or you only want to read ebooks, or you only want things in Spanish or French, the preferences area is where you can change that. And once you apply these preferences, they last for all future searches. So should you search for something and get no results, you may want to take a look at your preferences and see if that's limiting you. And you just tap on any of the items next to a title or category in order to see the options for limiting it. You can play or read samples. You can also tap on the borrow button and it will bring you to a secondary screen where at the top you can change the duration that you borrow the item for. It often defaults to 21 days, which is the maximum, but in some cases 14 or 7 days might be the maximum or the only option for you. So if you see a borrowing period that's shorter than you'd like, tap on that length and see if you get another option. Once you're happy with your borrowing period, click on Borrow, and then it will take a second to show you what the status is. It begins downloading audiobooks and ebooks automatically if you're on a Wi-Fi connection. Otherwise, it will wait until you get to a Wi-Fi connection. I'm also going to borrow the ebook so that I can show you what it looks like to open the book. This tutorial, like the others, has been recorded on an iPad, but the interface looks very similar on another tablet or on the desktop interface. So once I've borrowed the ebook and I get that checkmark symbol showing that it's downloaded, I can tap on Open Book. And here it will give me the option to download it to a Kindle, if that's what I want to use to read it on, or Libby, which is the option that I usually choose. So once you tap that, you'll see the download start to happen. One cool thing that you can change in here once you've borrowed a book is in the top right corner next to the font, you can change the column display. So you can alternate between 1 or 2 columns of text. So here's an actual page in the book. And if I tap that icon, it then switches the display to 2 columns. Some people prefer this, some people prefer the 1. It's up to you. You'll also notice that the font icon will let you change the appearance, both in the terms of the size of the font and choosing different kinds of fonts and lighting. The search icon will let you search within the book. And then the icon to the far right in that top right corner is the bookmark icon. So if you tap on that, it will show you any of the bookmarks or highlights that you may have selected in this book. At the bottom, you've got a menu that lets you either scroll across the ticker line here or tap in the middle to see the different chapters. Generally, you'll just swipe from one page to the next, but it is nice to have multiple navigation options. You do need to tap at the bottom of the screen in order to get that menu. And in order to make a bookmark, you need to tap in the top right corner. Tapping in the middle of the page sometimes brings up the menu and sometimes just moves you to the next page. So suppose that I have already finished my book now and I want to return it. Books will return automatically on their due date, or you can return something early or renew it. To return it early or to renew, tap Manage Loan and Return Early and Return. Or if you want to renew an item, which can only be done 3 days before it's due, also tap Manage Loan and you'll see this Renew Loan option, which is currently grayed out because it's too soon for us to renew it. Just like with print books, we are limited in the number of digital copies that we can lend. So sometimes you'll see that somebody is waiting, and if you're done with an item, it's nice to return it to give somebody else an option, a turn to read it. If you want to request an item, let's go back to our search here, and let's find something that's not available, even though it's not the same title. This book, Under the Harrow by Flynn Berry, is not currently available to borrow. It says place hold. So if I want to request this book, I just tap place hold and then tap the place hold button again. And now when I go back to my shelf and tap on the hold tag, it will show me the things that I've requested and give me an approximate timeline for when I might expect to see them. If you get a notice that an item you've requested is ready for you to borrow, but you don't actually have time to read it, you have 3 days to select an option called Deliver Later. And then that will let you determine how long you want to wait before you're offered this book again. The default is 7 days, but you can extend it to more or reduce it to fewer days if you like. That's a general overview of requesting, borrowing, and returning items. We hope you enjoy your Libby materials.